Osu is a game with many different playstyles to choose from. Mouse, tablet, banana, potato, and even a hand mixer. One way to play Osu has been around since the very beginning and has always been regarded as insanely controversial: touchscreen. With playing touchscreen, players have no need for a mouse or tablet, and sometimes don't even need a keyboard. And throughout the 14 years that Osu's been around, touchscreen has been evolved from a small and niche way of play into its own league of unthinkable Osu gameplay. Let's get right into it. The very first known player to be seen using touchscreen was Cyclone. It's not exactly how you'd think touchscreen would be played though. As you can see, similar to how the core origins of how Osu was intended to play, Cyclone uses a tablet pen to hit the circles on the monitor, which was actually the original and intended way to play Osu. Now, what kind of device is Cyclone using? There doesn't seem to be any keyboard he could use, and that's because he's using a tablet PC. Basically, those computers where you could rotate it around on itself so that it becomes a tablet. Now, how did the community back in 2008 react to touchscreen players? So this is how the Cookie Z guy would play. So dirty. It's a bit unfair for most of the people who play with mouse. This is like cheating on Osu. So yeah, if you played touchscreen back then, you were considered to have an unfair advantage, be a downright cheater, or be Cookie Z. The drama doesn't end here though, as a highly controversial player from South Korea would begin playing in 2010, Bikko. Now, Bikko's touchscreen scores were a little off. His aim looked to be unnatural and weirdly choppy. This, combined with the unknown aura surrounding him, led many to believe that he was cheating. However, it was eventually explained, as old replays in Osu only run at 30 FPS, as seen in old Cookie Z archives, where the aim looks unnaturally satisfying. It is simply just an old mechanic in the game. This wasn't the only issue for Bikko though, as he was also accused of using a grid and some markers when playing Flashlight. The basic idea is that by using a physical indication of where the notes would be, it gives an unfair advantage to the player using it. This was also debunked though, as back in 2010, grid and markers were not considered a bannable offense, and was widely accepted. The final claim toward Bikko was that he utilized 2 monitors to play Flashlight, which is obviously not allowed, but to be honest, it was unknown whether not just Bikko, but if anyone, was using dual screen to play Osu, since the game was smaller and players weren't smart enough to catch these exploits. Whatever the case may be, if it's anything regarding Bikko, you can be sure to expect some controversy. Fast forward 5 years later, and arguably one of the biggest controversies in Osu would arise: a 577 PP score on Nico Mega Mix from Cuffster. Cuffster used easy halftime, and of course, a touchscreen laptop to submit his play. This was seen as an unfair advantage in the community, as some patterns in the map were impossible to hit without using touchscreen. Also, the Tag 4 maps of Osu during this time still awarded performance points, which signaled the red flag that touchscreen may have been a little broken, as this map could have been worth over 1000 PP for an FC, while the record was only 577. This resulted in Tag 4 maps no longer giving any rank anymore. Next up, we have the world's first ever cat to play Osu, blurring the lines between human and non-human gameplay. Another player who's argued to be non-human is XCon. Now, XCon is one of those players who's always been known to set the boundary far beyond where anybody could reach it, whether that's in Catch the Beat or in Standard. On February 25th, 2015, he managed to SS Nico Mega Mix Tag 4 with easy and halftime, awarding him well over 1k PP, if it was ranked. XCon also was able to rival players like Cookie Z on certain maps while using touchscreen. The scariest part about all of this was that he didn't even play that much touchscreen, and he honestly didn't even take it that much seriously either. XCon was just that good. Another true legend to the Osu community is Sapphire Ghost. His playstyle of choice dated all the way back till 2008, referencing to how Cyclone used a pen on his monitor to aim. Sapphire Ghost also used a pen on his monitor, but used his keyboard to tap the notes. And this would give him the edge over other players. And one of the most notable scores was his hidden and sudden death play on Distorted Love Song, sniping Marucci for the #1 spot at the time. Sapphire Ghost also played easy to a very high level, like many other touchscreen players. Nowadays though, for Sapphire Ghost's peace of mind, he has quit Osu and moved on into the real world. He'll always be known as a legend. A slightly more modern legend is a player that's always innovated how Osu can be played, from playing negative infinity AR to playing with a tennis ball, and of course, being one of the best touchscreen players ever. It's Mathi. Now at this time, GN was #1 on many Tag 4 maps, and they were all done with tablet and keyboard. Mathi decided to honor how impressive this was and play all of the Tag 4 maps with easy and spun out, making sure that GN would remain at the top, even if Mathi got a better score. Mafham knew that touchscreen gave a clear advantage, so it was truly honorable that he let GN have his number ones. Something that doesn't seem to take much effort was his touchscreen FC on Grenade, and sure, with a regular style of play, it is not that difficult, but with touchscreen it requires much more memory and precision to pull off something like that. The next player I'll be talking about is Blizzard Ice, and while Mafham's score on Grenade was pretty cool, Blizzard Ice managed to take that one step further and FC Gangsta with hidden DT and touchscreen. This play was seen as actually pretty controversial. This play was weighted at the same amount as if it was tablet or mouse, and it's important to keep this in mind for later. The only other FCs on Gangsta were from Xerius and Vaxei, so seeing someone come out of nowhere to rival their score was met with a lot of confusion and backlash. This would be a common trend following the upcoming years, as touchscreen players began to really hone down on their DT ability and focus less on easy. A player who was active around 2016-2017 was Girl. Girl really pushed the limits of what was possible to pass with DT, and because of how in theory you had infinite aim with touchscreen, Girl was able to perform well on many high-star DT maps, like a pass on a high score with DT, or a 6-miss on Bang Bang AR9 with DT. So up until this point, we've seen the potential of how broken touchscreen could be, whether it's in the form of Tag 4 or high-star passes. What would happen if someone took touchscreen and pushed it to its absolute limit, almost to the point of it being taboo? Introducing Freedom Diver.
Let's go! You might be eating your own words, Squilly. Oh, Squill, you ate your own fucking words! Eat it! Eat your fucking words!
It's not 900.
900!
So Freedom Diver just beat the previous record of 817 PP by Cookie Z. This map, while farm, is at least over 1.7k combo and requires a high level of aim, which is a much more widely accepted skill over touchscreen. So Freedom Diver, coming in with a 3-mod FC on a 20-second map and breaking the record by almost 100 points, was quite a statement. This is what happens when the limits are broken, past the point of no return. Touchscreen was always seen as a little game breaking, and maybe easier to play, but it was never used to break the entire game before. So what was the incentive to Freedom Diver's 900? Well, it was actually to fix the game in fact. Freedom Diver wanted to have separate leaderboard for touchscreen, and was dissatisfied that how leaderboards didn't take touchscreen players into account. So to fix this issue, Freedom Diver showed the world how controversial touchscreen really was. And around mid-December of 2017, Osu's very first touchscreen nerf was finally implemented. Now, Osu would detect if a player was using touchscreen or not, although it was kind of inaccurate sometimes.
Not like this!
This also nerfed Freedom Diver's 900 into the ground, now it being only worth around 300 PP. Around 4 months later, the touchscreen detection got much better, and a new mod called Touch Device was implemented, nerfing every touchscreen player into the ground. Would this be the end of all touchscreen plays? It didn't really seem like there would be an incentive to keep on going, and so touchscreen began to really fall off and become forgotten. That was until the community remembered what touchscreen was originally for, to have unique and cool plays, and not really care about rank at all. A more modernized list of players would begin to keep the touchscreen alive. And to start off, a player by the name of Ebon Soul would start to take number ones on several love maps, since he could still show up on the top of the leaderboard. So if you recognize this video, chances are you may know who Bonk is. Bonk doesn't have the highest rank in Osu, but he is an extremely solid hard rock and DT player, and he plays with the finger gun playstyle. His unorthodox method of using his finger to aim and keyboard to tap actually plays to his advantage, and allows for the potential of his aim to develop at an insanely fast rate. Goink has also done some crazy scores. And since touchscreen wasn't detected, Goink also got a DT Hard Rock FC on C-Type, worth 858 PP right now. And so, the final player I'll mention is Ya Benno, who is currently considered by far to be the most fastest touchscreen player that is currently active. Touchscreen has evolved from a simple alternative way to play into one of the most game-breaking playstyles to exist, and finally, into a whole different game than what most of us even play. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. What did you guys think of this video? Do you think touchscreen is actually impressive? I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day.